extraordinaire, the gemologist.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geomologist Presents. It seems like we're in the midst of the fanzine Kickstarter. What's it called? What's it called?
Elfland, Beyond the Fields We Know.
Right. Oh, I guess I should introduce my guest first.
Maybe not.
Zine Quest is the term I was looking for. I feel like we're at the beginning of a Zine Quest,
Oh, Zine
run by
Month. Sorry. Yeah,
Zine
Zine
Quest
Month.
Month. A Zine Month this time. Okay. Run
Well,
by
so
Kickstarter.
I'm interrupting. That's a whole thing. Kickstarter does Zine Quest, but there's also a
Oh,
community-driven Zine Month, which is also in February because Kickstarter abandoned February last year. And people were preparing. They did in February anyway. So Zine Quest is just Kickstarter. Zine Month is kind of across whatever you want to crowd fund it on.
right. Well, I guess I should introduce my guest with that little bit of information. And we have Stefan Surratt with us
Yes.
today, of the owner of Dragon Peak Publishing and creator of many things using the Dungeon Crawl Classics engine, notably for some Weird Frontiers products that have come out recently. Um, and now he has a new Kickstarter that is coming out to add to uh, his credentials, his publishing credentials. So it's called Elfland Beyond the Fields We Know, but it doesn't seem like that's the only thing going on with this zine. Was it's not Zine Quest again? Zine
No,
Month.
and
Zine
I'm not
Month.
really even doing it in there. I'm doing it because it's more than just a zine, and so I started it before that. I've been working on this for a while, so I didn't want to wait for a whole February.
Yeah,
But
great.
yeah, I've got a titular zine, Elfland Beyond the Fields We Know,
Uh huh.
which it's all for Dungeon Crawl Classics, but it's all pretty, it's all close enough in the OSR kind
Yeah.
of sphere. And it's like a toolkit mostly, but I've also kind of written it in a way so you can do a solo journaling thing. So if you're one of the poor folks who buys more things than they get to game, you can still kind of game with it anyway.
Oh, I like that.
um
Okay.
but essentially it's a bunch of tables and some adventure locales, and I wrote them and added some kind of question prompts so you can have some fun playing with yourself in a PC kind of way. um but it's got like ways to enter and exit Elfland, adventure locales, magic items, fake curses, horrible traps, mischief. And it was all inspired by reading the book King of Elfland's Daughter, an old appendix in book by Lord Dunsany. And I just that book was so dang good. It's sometimes you read 100-year-old book and you're like, wow, they sure wrote different back then. I'm glad they don't
Yeah.
anymore. But it was a good one.
So you think it holds itself its own? I guess. I
Yes,
think
it's
that's
definitely written. It's written in a different style. Like
it
there's
doesn't
there's
become dated.
sometimes I mean kind of there's a lot of times where it's like you're saying and a lot. Modern in these days we put a period there, but you're just using the word and instead. But it's still very good.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like there's some timeless books out there in the genre we like. I've read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein recently. Bram Stoker's Dracula still
Oh yeah.
is, is a some books are not so palatable nowadays, but I remember actually the last time we talked, you had said that you were reading through that. That was like, what are you reading right now? So that's pretty cool that you've taken that and used it as inspiration for your Kickstarter and your product. But that's
Yeah.
not all. I mean, I like that idea of solar journaling, and I guess it has its own engine, right? It's not using a different like a
It it's not so much using it's kind of light on that. Like there's some that go deep, like a 1,000-year-old vampire or bucket of bolts.
mm,
It's that go a little deeper in there. Me, it's more just I've got a bunch of tables and I've got a bunch of question prompts that relate to those tables. So what do you think about this? Choose or roll on this table, and it's written in so that you can do it, but it has that, but it's more of a judge's toolkit first. Like I made this to solve the problem of there's not much out there if you want to take your campaign, your game to the Feywild or Elfland or the land of the Fairfolk, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of adventures that kind of like touch on that, but not many that go deep into it. So it's hard to run a game there. And I was trying to solve that for myself in my game and share it with other folks too. So I did that in the zine, but as as some people might be able to imagine or know if they've done a Kickstarter, shipping a bunch of stuff out isn't like the most fun activity. Spend your day just packing stuff for like 4 to 8 hours. So I wanted to do that once, and I instead of multiple times. So I'll just make the once longer. So I also got two full adventures.
Yeah, I know. I
Um,
saw that. I saw one you'll have to tell us about, but it's taking advantage of something that's recently been added to the public domain. The other
yes,
one, I guess both of them might maybe, but
both
also
public domain. Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. And then you have something else. So yeah, go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
them.
So I'll mention the short things first. I've got a little DCC funnel that's a pamphlet adventure. So, just one sheet of paper, double-sided, and it's small, you can improv off of it, and it's a funnel where PCs are basically stolen from their own world, enslaved by a Fey witch. She wants them to mine out the literal heart of a volcanic mountain. But it's a funnel that you can do in like under 2 hours. So you can just in a much tighter time than you normally could. Maybe that's perfect for doing just your friends who want to try it out, or at the local game store where spending 4 hours there can be a little tough. 2 hour funnel gets you done. But the two full adventures that are written in the more traditional Dungeon Crawl Classics or OSR format, I've got one called Christopher Robin's Nightmare and the other called The Blood Rose Curse, which is a little less obvious in its inspiration than the former, but that one is inspired by Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, yeah, I got yeah, it's pretty cool. So I got that. Um, and I guess I signed up on the first day so I could get the patch. I didn't look at the comments yet. It says green or red, but
Yes.
I wonder if
I
anyone
think
is like I wonder if anyone's like I can't tell because I'm colorblind. Um,
no one has yet.
no one
I
has
didn't
yet.
think of that at all. If
Uh,
they're colorblind, they won't care. Yeah, there's a patch. I also got an iron. Well, maybe it'll be iron on. Maybe that'll be a stretch goal that I make up at some point. But it'll be a sew on patch for sure.
yeah,
And there's two colors, green or red. I think they both look great. But I've been telling people vote in the comments which color you like more, whichever gets the most. Like I've done this poll once before on a Discord server that
mhm.
I'm on a lot, and the poll was 100% tied. So we're bringing it to Kickstarter. Everyone needs to vote in the comments which patch you like. And we're recording this on day one, launch day, but
Yeah,
it won't go out. But you can still get the patch. There's like a little deal where you get the patch for
yeah. There still
basically
is. There
free.
still
But
is.
people can get it. I'm gonna make a bunch of them, but it's you get it on the Kickstarter because when I print this and like ship stuff to Goodman Games and Exalted Funeral, I won't be shipping the patches with them, just the books.
Yeah, you can put the patch in as an add-on if you don't make the uh, if you don't make the day one. I joined day one because I
Yeah.
saw patch. I'm doing it. Not going to think about it. But hey, what's really cool? What's really cool? I mean, with 15 hours to go on the first day, you've already made your stretch goal. I'm looking here
I'm
right now. I know it's like you doubled your stretch goal already.
Yeah, I'm stoked. And the first stretch goal was an original song by the band Loot the Body. I
Mm-hmm.
messaged his name is actually also Carl.
Uh,
So so I messaged that Carl, musician Carl, though hey,
uh,
maybe you're a musician too. I don't know.
no,
Uh
I'm a music appreciator. I'm not a musician.
yeah.
I'd be cool to try. I have a guitar that I've never picked up to learn.
I
But
I learned like three chords when I was in high school, and I am sure I don't remember them. Um
I used to sing in choir and for church, but no actual training. And probably
yeah.
now as you get older and you start
Yeah.
becoming more tonally incompetent, becoming tone deaf. It's probably not great. I mean, I've tried to do some bad singing a cappella on my podcast, and I'm sure my listeners would tell you that's not so great. Just
Yeah, my wife tells me not to also.
stick to the little snippets of MP3s here and there instead of trying to sing on
But
your own. But yeah,
but
that's kind of
Luto,
cool. I mean,
it's like a prog rock sound,
uh-huh.
and it was very fortuitous because I was like, hey, I don't know, I've never commissioned anyone to write a song before. I have no clue how this works. This is the kind of theme I'm going with. Let me know about rates and money and what you think is fair because I got no clue. And he went, oh yeah, Journey to Elfland or Wandering Through Elfland. That's a cool theme. I do have something I wrote after, but never published after
Yeah.
reading King of Elfland's Daughter a few years ago, and I was like, that's the same book. It's perfect. It's fate.
Yeah, that's really neat. You actually you've already hit the you're at
Mhm.
5,000, so you've already have the second stretch goal, by the way.
Yeah,
Extra
and
handouts and
that's some
magic
more
items.
handouts. But yeah, everyone's gonna get some extra handouts and some
Hmm.
magic items. I've got a few notes, and everyone's gonna get that song. About the first minute of the songs in the Kickstarter video.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I kind of like that. Like I think we had a discussion on the Cerebrivore, a group podcast that I do with Jason Connerly and
Mhm.
others, and we were talking about whether we like what kind of swag do we like or what kind of add-ons do we like. And this is especially germane to more, maybe more towards miniatures games or board games where sometimes they'll give you a piece that does extra stuff, but then you don't have that piece, and it's kind of
You
unfair.
feel
But
like you're losing out a little bit.
yeah, but these, I
Yeah.
mean, swag like this, I think is great, right?
Yeah, it's the rest of the stretch goals to like bookmarks and stickers and maybe a poster if we get to that last stretch goal. So it's it's a complete package whether or not you're here for this or not.
Yeah, and you've also looked like you put the add-ons for your previous Kickstarters, so the Merchants of the Multiverse, and then the Weird Frontiers, and that's for
Hmm.
MCC/DCC, right? The Mysteries
Uh,
Merchants and Mysteries.
so yeah, I've got Mysteries of the Multiverse and Merchants of the Multiverse. They're MCC focused, but you can have some
Yeah.
interplanar shenanigans. There's actually a bunch of stuff in Mysteries of the Multiverse for like, hey, here's how you bring some stuff from normal DCC or the Purple Planet, or there's
Mhm.
actually a lot of third party people in there too. So if you got like the Leopard Women of Venus thing, or you're
Yeah.
using oh, what's another like the Aeon Ancient Greece stuff? There's like adventure hooks in there for like bring some of that weirdness into your game too.
Yeah,
Mix it
and then
up.
you also have your Weird Frontiers, Brimstone Cradle, and Hills at Hunger book as
Yes.
an add-on. Well, great. So I don't know any predictions on how far this is going to go up. I know that
Uh
I see the $8,000 sticker is like a protest slogan slash banner.
yeah,
Um,
it's a no WotC, no Masters. The
yeah, yeah,
OSR logo in the center.
yeah. I guess too bad you can't raise the black flag because Cobalt Press has already
Yeah,
trademarked.
they're
I don't
doing
know if
it.
they, I don't know if they've trademarked it, but
Oh,
business is
maybe.
business. So hey, this is great. I've already backed it. I'm excited about it. I like the idea of the solo journaling game too, because that's something I like one of my favorite things from, let's say, for the Call of Cthulhu starter set is sort of that solo adventure you
I
can
like
do in
that.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
like all the alone again stuff for Call of
yeah, the
Cthulhu. I
alone
got them
again,
all.
and to me that is like choose your own adventure, make choices, kind of a
Hmm.
solo journaling game. You don't have to use like a different engine like Oracle or something like that to run it. And I'm really looking forward to these and throwing these adventures. So these two adventures, you feel like they're like one shot types, and they could be played like at a convention or.
Yes. So most of my play testing has come from running these in like 4 hour slots online. So the Blood Rose Curse, that one's Beauty and the Beast. It's basically a dungeon crawl, but you're in a manor. Let's take the everyone knows what Beauty and the Beast is, but let's give it a
Mhm.
bad ending. The curse is never broken. Beauty's never able to come back. So they slowly, he becomes more bestial. The servants become they just fade into the furniture to an extent. So
Mhm.
go into this manor, and essentially the kind of plot hook is there's this beast that's stalking the woods. It's killing
Mhm.
young maidens, and it's Beast. He's out there trying to find beauty, but he can't. Like that time is gone. It's an indeterminate amount of times past when that could have happened. So he's
Damn you,
not really there
Gaston.
anymore. Yeah.
Maybe that happened, but I saw this too. Besides the fairy tale, it takes some inspiration from Hellraiser for unique
Yes.
mechanics and inspiration from Resident Evil 1, Spencer Manor. So cool. So horror, it's like horror themed, but
Yeah,
fairy
it's
tales.
definitely darker.
I guess they're all kind of related, right? I mean, Adventures in Elfland is one of the beginning of like sort of codifying fairy and
Hmm.
fae and fairy tales, and then definitely I feel like the Winnie the Pooh stories are
They're very
they're
whimsical.
whimsical and fairy tale like, and then I
Hmm.
know there's a horror movie out for it now, right?
Or I think it's about to come out. It's coming out this year at least.
Yeah,
I
yeah, and
haven't
then
paid much attention.
this the Blood Rose Curse sounds pretty cool too. So and then you have a funnel to get people into Elfland, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice. I like how they did that. You mentioned Purple Planet; they did that in Purple Planet. There's a funnel, but it's a purposeful funnel. I know that's one of the, I guess, sometimes the criticisms of DCC. It's I never see the full game. I only see funnels, but I do like funnels that get you to the adventure locale, right, and get you into the world
Yes.
or the story, right? Even like Sailors on the Seas of Fate get you into the GCC kind of canon, not really canon verse, but they're where they put
You
all
can
their
end up
adventures.
anywhere at the
Yeah,
end.
you can end
Yeah.
up anywhere, but it's like a vehicle to get you to the adventure locale, right? So I think
Exactly.
that's pretty cool. Um, right. So we did mention OGL, and we talked previously before I started recording, and you were kind enough to let us know as a third party publisher, I guess, what you feel about this OGL controversy. And because it seems like you mostly all your stuff is DCC,
I
MCC. It's Goodman
I've
Games,
got
so
some
maybe
other stuff that is not OGL based. I've done some stuff for Primal Quest and Rune, but yeah, it's
mhm,
mostly MCC and DCC kind of focused. Yeah, Goodman Games has said basically they won't be using the OGL. They haven't. I feel like their message that they put out to the public could have had more clarity to it.
mhm.
Um, but I, as a third party publisher, all the third party folks, they got an email basically saying, here's the updated license. And main thing being, you don't have to put the OGL in there anymore. There's no requirement to put some new version, the orc license or anything else. You just don't have to use the OGL anymore. So I'm actually stripping the OGL out of like my pamphlets and stuff so that future, reprintings or POD stuff can have something else. So I'm I'm almost done with doing that at this point, and I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that extra page. I don't know what I'm gonna do in that.
An extra art order or something. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
or some more tables, right?
probably some random tables or monster or magic items, something it's got to fit on one page. So
Oh, how about the music or the notes of the chorus for the song that is being published?
that'd be cool. I mean, with this, the adventuring to Elfland, I was able, uh, the layout hasn't been finalized yet, so
Yeah, yeah.
I I've got more wiggle room than the past ones on. But yeah,
Mhm.
I've got I don't know. I can ask Loot the Body about that. And that band, it's got a bunch of stuff on. They've got cool music videos on YouTube. They've
Oh,
got all
cool.
their stuff on Bandcamp and whatnot. But the music videos are cool and pretty trippy. I recommend folks go check those
Yeah,
out.
I'll definitely, as well as the link to the Kickstarter and then Dragon Peak Publishing. I'll find a link to Loot the Body so you guys can hear
Yeah,
their music. I'm a,
I'll
I'm a
shoot
big
them
fan
over
of
to you
music,
later.
and yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. I can look it up too, but I appreciate you sending them over. So yeah. So what are you running or playing anything right now aside from these?
Uh, the A little bit, yeah. I've kind of feeling I got to do a little bit more on these. I'm mostly am wrapped up. The Blood Rose Curse. I wrote the first draft of that like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
So like it's been sitting with me for a while. I really like that adventure, but you stare at anything for like 2 years and you kind of want to do something different.
Yeah.
Um, but it's great, and I love being able to act out like the servants in there. And Christopher Robin's Nightmare is a ton of fun because it's a point crawl adventure through the Hundred Acre
Oh.
Woods,
Uh-huh.
um, and it's fun. I mostly don't try to do much in the way of imitating the voices of like all the classic characters, but I'll
Uh,
try to how they speak. I'll be a little sillier as Pooh, and I'll be a little more timid as Piglet, because the adventure is basically like go across the Hundred Acre Woods, point crawl, save as many of the friends as you can, and then go save Christopher Robin. And it's all within Christopher Robin's dream as well, because he's like
well,
an adult. It's a fey curse. He's in this magical slumber that he cannot be awakened from, and at the same time as that happened, fey creatures started coming out of the woods, and local hedge witch has figured out you have to go into his dreams to undo the magical curse, and if that is done, the creatures will not be able to pass into the human world anymore. So lick this frog or smoke this hookah, and you'll fall asleep and go into his dreams. That's how that adventure starts.
cool. And I see that this is a quick turnaround. I mean, is this is accurate?
Yes.
You want to get
Yes.
this out
Two
by the
months.
physical products Wow. Okay. So
or
the
well, yeah,
PDFs.
or PDFs will be in yeah, like 2 months. March, people ought to get them. And the physical products will probably be in April. I'm waiting on editing for Christopher Robin's Nightmare to come back, but like I'm waiting on the cover art for that adventure.
Okay.
So there's very little left to be done except do some layout and put in the orders for the books and the pamphlet and patches and whatever else. But um yeah, it's like I prefer to come done. I don't like getting a Kickstarter, having the funds go to my bank account and sitting for like, you know, 6 months going, well, I have that money, but it doesn't feel like it's mine yet because I haven't
Hmm.
given people what they paid for. So yeah, I
Yeah,
prefer to come prepared and do that quick turnaround.
I definitely feel like Kickstarters have come a long way since some of the earlier ones that I did, where I give some examples, and I guess they probably don't care anymore if we blast them because they lost the license anyway. But Conan, in Adventures in the Age of and Dreamed of, they had like four different waves of stuff that was all stretch gold in their Kickstarter, and I feel like they only got it. And some of the print products didn't even come out or hadn't even come out.
Yeah, there's like one that was about all about the Picts, right? That I think
Yeah,
was supposed to be very soon, but nope, license
no,
gone.
yeah. So I mean, and then the other one, also Motifius, unfortunately, was Infinity, and they're still putting stuff out for that. But I think now, I mean, maybe, and Kickstarter's probably learned too, right? You have to fulfill in order to put out another one
Yes.
now. So,
It depends how what your history is. Like
mhm.
you can do, I think if you've got like a solid history of actually fulfilling and doing as you said, you can do multiple that are unfulfilled at once, but they'll keep you like, Goodman Games I think is has just fulfilled one, but a couple weeks ago before I got Crypt of the Devilich in the mail, they had four unfulfilled Kickstarters.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like I would say like Privateer Press is an example of someone very good. Like right when they just need the money for the print stuff. All
Hmm.
the all the writing layout is already done. When the Kickstarter ends in a few days, once they collect the money and maybe you do a survey, they send you the PDFs, right? So I think
Yeah.
those are probably like in good standing where they send you the product and it's off to print right away. I don't think there's any. There might be a few things. I feel like some of the stuff that I kickstarted from Europe. Just printing has been really slow out of there. They've had
Yeah.
issues, so cutting them some slack. And I know there's some Kickstarters too where they just had the design team had like tragedies, like deaths in the family
That
and
yeah,
cancers
that
and stuff like that.
happens.
So, but other than that, I think there's been I've had no really issues. I've heard horror stories, or not horror stories, not a horror
But
story, but
yeah, I know what you mean though.
annoyances and issues with Kickstarters and being unfulfilled. So, but I think that's good that Kickstarter has done that, and I'm very excited that hey, with convention season coming up, I might be able to run this at North Texas RPG Con, which is not until June,
Yeah.
or ChupaCabraCon, which is these are relatively local ones in Austin, ones
Hmm.
in
I
Dallas.
was hoping to be at Chupacabra. I was at Con last year. I was hoping to come again this
Oh,
year, but
were you?
it's
How did we
yeah,
not?
that
How did we not meet? That's
I
weird. Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I ran a couple DC. Let me see. I ran the one who watches from below there last
Okay.
year and played in a
Okay.
couple other things.
Did you
I
play
was
in
hoping to.
a? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just say yeah, just the dates and stuff won't quite work out this year. I gotta someone I was gonna sleep on their couch and avoid some hotel fees.
Oh, in
And that's how I was
Austin.
gonna yeah, and that's how I was gonna be able to be like, hey, wife is yeah, I'm not gonna pay a ton of money in hotel fees. It's all good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
not gonna work.
There's definitely. I mean, if you know some people in the biz, like there's a lot of creatives that do Savage World stuff, and
Hmm.
used to be a lot of Arc Dream people used to be there, but I think some of them have moved to like Canada. So, but they definitely Delta Green has a big presence. Savage
I
Worlds
know
also has a big
that.
presence.
I just
Um,
found out about that really recently that a lot of the Delta Green folks are kind of based down there. I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like,
yeah.
I need to get into Delta Green.
Oh yeah, it's really. I had a great time playing Delta Green. Last time at Chupacabra Con, really amazing GM. We all died, but we still won. So that can
I,
happen. That can definitely
I
happen.
understand what I played enough
Well,
Call of Cthulhu at
I
least to
guess our
know what you mean by that.
as
The
we were
world didn't end.
as we were fading away, at least we thought we won. Who knows what really happened? But in our
Oh,
minds, we won. But it was pretty cool. It was actually it's funny. I mean, I liked you for a lot. So did you play? Did you? We played like my wife and I went. We played like this legacy game, and it seems like the ETU guys, the East Texas University guys, they did like a kids on bikes thing Kickstarter
mm-hmm.
recently, so they haven't released what they did at a ChupacabraCon, which was this like legacy game where you play like in the 20s, 50s, and 80s,
Oh,
and you play like we were able to get it all three. So you play someone who's related, like related to the character you played before, or like which I thought was really cool.
that's
And some
cool.
people
Yeah.
developed, and some people developed like the family history story in a very fascinating manner. Yeah, actually, I think there's one character who was actually the same character throughout. So how that happened, well, it's a mystery. I don't want to spoil it too much, but
Mm-hmm.
so it's pretty interesting. How and I thought that was a really neat game. They're definitely like people like Eric Lamoureux were there. He does the Wise Guys, the Savage World stuff, where you're like mobsters. So it's
See, yeah, I played a Savage World Zeta Complex, the legally distinct paranoia.
oh cool,
One
yes,
there.
yes, that's neat. Yeah, I ran a couple games there. I ran a game that I'm working on, which is the medieval pulp Cthulhu. So you play knights and men at arms and shining armor in the wake of the Battle of Towton during the War of the Roses, and stuff gets weird. And I actually
Okay.
was able
Hey,
to.
medieval pulp Cthulhu sounds pretty cool.
Well, I wanted to make the characters like just badass and larger than life, and Pulp Cthulhu does that. So like you can
Hmm.
wade into wait. You mean you can't. It's still if
You
you
could still
can't take
die
it.
pretty easily, but
Yeah, you can't take on a
you got
great old
decent
one, but you can
chances.
wade into servitor creatures, and some are
Yeah.
tougher than others. And it was good. I ran it I actually ran it at a weekend with good friends first, like online, and then I ran it live a couple times at Chupa and then at North Texas. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well,
So
I'll be in North Texas for sure, so
oh
we'll try to
great.
meet up there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can't play Christopher Robin's Nightmare, but maybe you'll get to jump into maybe I'll try to run for a few coppers more again. That I think that's really popular. I'll clean it
Yeah.
up and maybe get an actual draft where I can look through typed out for then. Yeah, which
Should
would be
do
pretty
it.
neat.
I've got a Weird Frontiers thing that I've written and I need to do more playtesting of. That is basically it's got one inspiration point and it's Big Trouble for Little China. It's
Oh,
Chinese New Year. It's San Francisco. There's vampires and also
that sounds pretty
so
cool.
so maybe you can do a few coppers more and I'll do Big Trouble for a Little Blood and we'll have the the Weird Frontiers double feature movie.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. That'd be fun. Yeah, North Texas is great. Actually, I guess they haven't. You can't buy tickets yet, folks, but I know you can reserve the hotel because I definitely
Yeah.
and it's a really good rate for that hotel. So and for me, it's not a problem to drive up to Dallas Fort Worth area. So I'll be I'm definitely going to be driving up there. I hope I can hit Chupa also. I might have to limit things this year, but I do like Chupacabra just because of all the Savage Worlds that you can do.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see. I am. Are you participating in any cons before those or before that?
No, I don't know, there might be an online one that I do, but
Yeah.
in person, the first one for me this year will be North Texas. I'll probably
Yeah.
do Lone Star Game Expo, which is in Grapevine, Texas, so which is local to me. And it's pretty small. It's not even at a hotel. It's at like a local convention center, but it's not a hotel. And then there's Long Con out in Longview, Texas. I'll probably go to that
Oh
again.
yeah. I'd like to go to LongCon. I really like those guys, the guys who run it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, Eddie and
I
Matt.
ran a I ran with one of those guys. Ran one Umerica, one of the which is
Yeah,
DC.
Eddie. I think they both love it, but yeah, Eddie loves America especially.
Yeah, I fell in love with Umerica. When I like post-apocalyptic games, but I fell in love with Umerica when I played. When one of those guys was running. So,
Hmm.
which is also it's also yeah, it is DCC.
He ran it his thing. Well, you probably played with him at North Texas actually, because I know he
Mhm.
ran it there last year.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, it's 2 years ago, I think, when I or two or three. God, well, things seem very compressed or long ago, depending on your perspective over the last
Yeah,
2 years. But
yeah. Staying inside changes things.
right. Well, yeah. So, any other words of wisdom or would be? You're always a pleasure to talk to, Stefan, and you always have great advice. And you don't like tell this is what you should do. It's like, I guess, examples from how you've done things or how you're doing things, and that really can help would-be creatives
Mhm.
like myself and others who want to, have their name on a print product for the games we love. So any other words of
Um,
wisdom? You can have direct
yeah,
words of wisdom.
I'll say good resources. The man's name is Ian Usem, Yusem. He mostly does mothership stuff, but he's
Yeah,
got a
so
blog. I think it's Uncanny Spheres. He did a really good, like, very analytical breakdown of Zine Month from last year. So there's like good, hard, like documented, you know, analysis for folks who actually want to go to the crowdfunding area. And he's done some videos with on the Plus One EXP channel on YouTube, and they've also got good stuff for crowdfunding. So there's some good resources for like taking it to that level, but for actually creating it, I mean, the secret is just simply write. If you don't create something amazing and super memorable that, you know 10 years from now people will remember, I did it my first time. I wrote a free thing in the Gong Farmers Almanac, which is go buy a free PDF, or not buy it, just go get one. It's a free PDF on drive through, or order it at cost, because no one makes any money. It's all free. But I wrote a decent adventure in there. I've seen people play it online,
oh
so
neat.
people like it. But it's not a. I look back and there's things I can change. I can go, wow, that last room where the climax is has way too much box text. That's way too much.
Hmm.
It's people's eyes are glazing over by the time you tell them roll initiative. So you just got to start by writing something, and don't worry if it's not great. You can rewrite it, and you should get an editor because they'll make it even better as well.
Cool.
And play test it because your players will give you great ideas. And I can
Yeah,
promise you that
definitely.
happened in both of the adventure, all the stuff that's coming out in this Kickstarter. I wrote it and then I played it, and people did stuff I would have never thought of, and it got added into the text because it's collaborative at the table, and the writing process should be at least a little bit collaborative as well.
Well, thank you so much. That's some great advice. I'll put that link in the show notes as well. And well, thank you everyone for listening. This has been the GMologist Presents with Stefan Surratt. And go and check out his Kickstarter, Elfland Beyond the Fields We Know. It's not just Elf. Well, I guess they're all tacitly related to Elfland and fairy tales, but it
They're
seems,
written. You can do them in Elfland or out. There's a little sidebar thing in there for how to do it each way.
yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like it's for a zine month, but it's more than just one thing. So which I think is really great. Everyone's looking for a great bang for their buck, and this looks awesome, and it's going to be a quick turnaround. And well, hey, it's already funded, so we're going to see it, which is awesome. So let's hit those stretch goals. And thank you again, Stefan, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye. Thank you.